It was Christmas Eve, and the streets were wrapped in silence. Snow drifted gently from the sky, covering the world in a white blanket that shimmered beneath the dim streetlights. Families gathered inside their warm homes, fires crackling, laughter echoing through windows glowing with festive lights. But out on a lonely street corner, a single dad named Daniel trudged home after his late shift, his breath turning to mist in the icy night air. His life had never been easy. Raising his 8-year-old son, Michael, alone since his wife's passing 3 years earlier, had left scars deeper than anyone could see. But on this night, as Daniel pulled his coat tighter and longed for the warmth of home, he stumbled upon a scene that stopped him in his tracks, and changed the course of his life forever. There, beside a snow-dusted trash bin, a little girl no older than his own son dug with trembling hands, her face red and raw from the cold. Her torn sweater barely clung to her shoulders, and her tangled hair fell across tear-streaked cheeks. She searched desperately, frantically, as if the garbage was her only chance at survival. Daniel froze. The image pierced him deeper than anything he had ever seen. In that moment, his heart clenched with a pain words could never capture. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of compassion to change lives, please take a moment right now to like this video. Share it with someone who needs hope. Comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. Together, we can keep stories like this alive. Daniel stood in the snowfall, unable to move. His mind raced. Why was this child alone? Where were her parents? Why was she searching through trash on Christmas Eve, when children her age should have been nestled under blankets waiting for gifts? Slowly, he approached, careful not to frighten her. She noticed him and froze, clutching a bruised piece of bread to her chest like treasure. Her eyes held fear, but also something else. An emptiness Daniel recognized, the same emptiness he had seen in his own reflection too many nights after his wife's passing. The emptiness of loss, the ache of hunger, not just for food, but for belonging. Daniel tried to speak, but his voice caught in his throat. He simply knelt down a few feet away, locking eyes with her, snowflakes melting in the space between them. She looked at him as if uncertain whether he was a threat, or a miracle. And Daniel realized she didn't need words. She needed safety. She needed warmth. She needed someone to see her, truly see her. With steady hands and an aching heart, he offered his scarf, wrapping it gently around her trembling frame. She didn't resist. As the hours unfolded, Daniel learned her name was Lily. She had been wandering the streets for weeks after her mother fell ill and never returned from the hospital. Her father was long gone, just a faint memory she could barely recall. She had survived on scraps, huddling in doorways, hoping for kindness that rarely came. Her young voice, breaking as she spoke, carried the weight of pain no child should ever know. And as Daniel listened, the world around him disappeared. All that mattered was this forgotten child. Forgotten by everyone, except him. The walk home felt longer than ever. When they arrived, Michael opened the door, his small face lighting up in surprise at the sight of Lily. He asked no questions, but immediately fetched a spare blanket from his room, wrapping it around her shoulders with the innocence only a child could show. In that simple act of compassion, Daniel realized his son already understood something many adults had forgotten. Christmas was not about gifts, but about giving, not about lights, but about love. The night stretched on, filled with the warmth of soup simmering on the stove, the soft hum of a heater fighting back the winter chill, and the fragile sound of Lily's breathing as she finally allowed herself to rest. For the first time in weeks, she felt safe enough to close her eyes. Daniel sat at the edge of his son's bed, watching both children sleep. Tears stung his eyes, because he knew this was no coincidence. Perhaps life had broken him, but maybe, just maybe, it was also giving him a chance to heal by becoming a light for someone else. Over the following days, Daniel faced challenges he had never imagined. Bringing Lily into his home meant more mouths to feed, more responsibilities, and the daunting fear of authorities questioning his right to care for her. But each day, her cheeks grew warmer, her eyes brighter, her laughter slowly returning. Michael and Lily bonded quickly, finding joy in simple things, sharing toys, drawing by the fire, running in the snow. The house, once heavy with loss, now echoed with the sounds of childhood again. Daniel realized that by saving Lily, he had also saved himself, and his son, from a life defined by grief. But the truth that broke him most came later, when Lily handed him a small folded note. In shaky handwriting, she had written, "Thank you for seeing me. I thought I was invisible. I thought no one wanted me. But you gave me Christmas when I had nothing left. You gave me family." Daniel wept as he read those words, clutching the note like a treasure. Once, he had believed his life as a single dad was marked only by struggle and survival. But now he understood, sometimes we are put on paths not to ease our own pain, but to ease someone else's. And in doing so, we find healing too. Christmas came and went, but its spirit lingered in their home. Daniel worked tirelessly to ensure Lily had a future, speaking with social workers, proving his home was safe, and eventually opening the door to adoption. The journey was hard, but the community, inspired by his kindness, rallied to help. Neighbors brought meals, co-workers offered gifts, and slowly Daniel learned that kindness is contagious. One act can ripple through countless lives. And so, in the heart of winter, on a night that began with sorrow and cold, a single dad and his son found a daughter and sister they never expected. Together, they built a family, not by blood, but by love. A love strong enough to turn tragedy into hope, and loneliness into belonging. If this story touched your heart, please help us share it with the world. Like this video. Comment below with your thoughts. Share it with someone who needs hope. And subscribe to Kindness Corner, so more stories of compassion can inspire lives everywhere. Before this story ends, take a moment to comment below, what does kindness mean to you? Your words may inspire someone reading today. And as the snow continued to fall that Christmas season, Daniel realized something profound. Sometimes the greatest gifts are not found under the tree, but in the people life unexpectedly brings our way.